Hi guys, if it's Friday, it's Down and Dirty Woodscraft. Stay with me. Okay guys, today we're going to touch one more time on the range roll. But it's because a comment that I was talking to a young man who was utilizing one of these, and he sent me a little video of his use of it, which was good. I got no problem with it. But he didn't take advantage of a resource he had right there at him. And I haven't seen that in any of the videos that I've seen of using the Ranger roll. So I'm going to throw this little hack at you of when you've got woodlands like this, a trick you can use to improve your Ranger roll. Now let me set the camera down and we're going to show you how I carry my roll and the improvement you can make in the field to make it much warmer. Okay, I use my adjustable toggle to seal it up. Put that around my neck. When I first unroll it, first thing I want to find is my sitting pad. I've already talked about this in an earlier video. It's just a piece of an old cat food bag, cat litter, dog food, whatever. Use it like a little tarp to sit on the ground. Next I want a big drum bin liner. I can make a leaf tick out of that if I want to get me up off the ground if the ground's wet, and a way to seal up the ground from me. I want a small fire kit, so I've got a Bic lighter and I've got a good hunk of fat wood. With that I can get a fire going. Now, opening up my Ranger roll, as you're aware, the Ranger roll is consisting of a poncho liner, a reusable space blanket, and then a U.S. Army poncho put together. These are laid out to form a big ground shelter slash sleeping bag. But there's a simple hack you can do to greatly improve the warmth of this. One, I'm going to kick up a bed of leaves underneath. Two, I'm going to put leaves into the bed. Let me show you that trick. Okay, and as you know, it just folds open like that. There's my poncho liner, then there is my reusable space blanket, and then this used poncho on top that's seen better days, so I'm using it for this. I don't care if it gets a little scrubbed up because it is the Ranger roll. Now the bottom down here is not secured. It's wide open at the bottom, so I want to plug that up. Now I can carry, and what I usually do is I carry several safety pins, and I'll simply run a line of pins across there. But what I'm going to do is untie this bottom corner right here where the poncho goes on, and that's one of the reasons I leave all of these tied rather than some more permanent securing it. Okay. Now I'm going to leave the ties through the reusable space blanket, and I'm going to lift up the poncho, and I'm going to stuff leaves into here. I don't see this in the video, but what I do is just start gathering up and piling leaves up underneath between the two layers, see? Add up more insulation value. Now let me get that nice and fluffed up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, now I'm going to do half of it to show you the demonstration. I've added, because these are small oak leaves, they lay flat, make lots of air chambers. And I have filled up right over. Now there is my poncho liner. See, I'm still clean between the layers. There's my reusable space blanket. And then I pull my poncho over the top. Now I would go and snap the snaps of the poncho along and seal this up. Now you see how much bigger that is compared to that. I've added that much, 3 to 4 inches of insulation. Now to bind up this bottom, like I said, I'm going to use safety pins or something, but I'm also going to take some brush or whatever and put down here and lay at the very bottom along my feet. That way during the night, as I push my feet down, I'll realize I'm about to shove out the end, right? Now I would go and rake up a big pile of leaves and bury this whole end. Why not put some over the top? You know, I'm able to lay down. I kick up a big bed of leaves. I can open up this half, fill this thing full, retie it, roll it over, fill it again, and I got a leaf tick that's 4 to 6 inches thick underneath me. Now kick up a bed of leaves, slide this up on top of it, you know, slide it up on top of it, and then pile leaves over the top of that. I've got a nice comfortable way to sleep, and all of this is free insulation that I didn't have to tote in. So by simply utilizing the leaves and adding this into this Ranger roll, it becomes a leaf tick. So I carry in my Ranger roll. I've got a situation where this is all I got. You know, this is my shelter system or whatever. And it's a little cooler than I like, okay? One, this would absolutely save my life. That's one of the reasons it rides in a car, in case of, because as I said in an earlier video, it's a blanket, the poncho liner. It's a reflective shelter if it's really, really hot, the reusable space blanket. It's also a piece of rain gear where it's a poncho that I put duct tape over the major holes and things. But it's not a, you know, prime case poncho anymore, so it will work. It may leak a little, but it will work. But for a ground thing like this, I'm not feeling like I'm destroying a very usable piece of gear. All together forms the Ranger roll. When I get to my site, if I need more insulation, I turn it into a leaf tick. That's all I got to do is just untie the end, add a big old layer of leaves, and then snap it closed down the length. It'll be a tube of leaves coming down on bottom and on top of me, but I'm not in the leaves, I'm laying up on top. Since I'm gathering up these leaves, I can eliminate any sticks or whatever as I go, and I can insulate it all the way to my head up there. Now I put this at the base of a big tree, so it kind of curves up a little bit so my head is naturally elevated. Right here the ground's elevated, but I'm naturally elevated, and I'll pile a big pile of leaves underneath me, and I'll take some other piece of clothing or whatever and make a pillow for me. I can pull this up over my head, it's big enough to keep me inside like a bivy bag. And so it's a leaf tick as well as being a Ranger roll. I haven't seen anybody talking about the leaf tick side of it, and whenever I was ground pounding with just a poncho and a blanket, I had a bad poncho like this that I did this trick before, but I didn't have the reusable space blanket. What I had was a U.S. Army blanket that I had put ties and put it in there because I didn't have a WOOBIE, and I had lifted up, packed a bunch of leaves in it, put it back down, because this keeps the leaves from going away from me. It's now an insulated layer on top of me, and if I pile leaves over the top of the whole thing up to here, dude, you know, I just lift up and wiggle into the pile. Yes, I'm going to have some come off, but it's automatically more insulation than I toted in, that I didn't have to burn the calories to carry that. They were already here. Hope this gives you some ideas, guys. Thank you very much for supporting my channel. Please leave any questions or comments down below. I love to hear from you. And if there's some little trick you've learned to do with the Ranger roll, let me know about it. I'll be happy to try to incorporate it into a future video or something. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.